Okay, so I wanted to do this one's gonna be just freestyle, I guess a little bit of a rant, and I apologize for that. But I wanted to talk a bit about some things. For me, I always felt like I always say, like with colorism, I never really experienced any colorism, but a major thing I've always noticed when I was like kid and stuff, it's always this big ass fear that if you admit there's any difference, then now for some reason people would act like, you went off the deep end almost like for example, to me, obviously black people can be different from each other and still be black, Black people can be different from um mixed people, from white people, from can be different from anyone, But like it's almost like, association with being lighter skinned, the association with being mixed race, or like a threat of that association, which has always been a thing for me. That's always been like almost like a sense of fear. Like anytime I would talk about my complexion when I was little, people would start talking about mixed race people. It was weird. Like I'd be told like how, you're black, and people will always see you as a black person. And it would always be like, to me, confusing because it's like, what did mixed people have to do with embracement of my complexion? I never thought that, if you're lighter than a dark skinned person, that you have to, if you're happy with your complexion, it has to do with white people, mixed people, Chinese people. It to me never had to do with any of that. I think people should be able to embrace who they are and what they are, despite having to try to associate it with other races, of people. Often, this seems to be the case or people who try and like celebrate mixed people, for example. Like people will always try and act like mixed people who are they try and act like mixed people are a good thing because they are mixed with another race. And people try to act this way towards light skinned people because of the association towards being mixed. And I've said this before. That's not appreciation. That's not appreciation of light skin. It's not appreciation of mixed race. It's not an appreciation of anyone to embrace the fact that they are a little part white. That's embracing white. That's embracing whiteness. It's not embracing who you are. And it's so tiring to me. It was always upsetting when I was younger, when I was a kid, when the only thing you could see skin tone difference in is the proximity of the white race. When it's like, one, no light skinned person has white skin anyway. So why are we trying to talk about the association of white people when white people have nothing to do with this? No white person looks like that. Yet you're trying to associate a similarity. Well, honestly, if we really wanted to do that, I bet we could do the same correlation to dark skin. I mean, look at dark skinned Black Americans. Many of them are 20% white. You could maybe gather to the idea that many of them are basically a good percentage lighter than what they would be if they weren't 20% white. So when they embrace their skin tone, are they embracing whiteness? Are they embracing their proximity to whiteness just because they embrace their skin tone? I'm not saying embracing the proximity to whiteness. I'm saying embracing the whole freaking color of it, the whole appearance of it, not an association with any race specifically. Like, I get tired of that. Like, why does embracing light skin have to mean embracing the proximity to whiteness? And it's annoying also this, because I feel tired. Like, if I, for one, if I try to claim that I'm brown skinned and I try and say I embrace my complexion as being a brown skinned, beautiful, melanated girl, people get upset at me. Proximity. Even if I call it, it doesn't matter what I call it, if I embrace it, there's a problem. And it's annoying to me because it's like we should all love our complexions the way they are. It's not like something we can change at the end of the day. So I don't understand. And that's another thing, a lot of the time I notice this. People in my complexion often. People love to associate people in my complexion with anything fake. Like you're not naturally you're not naturally your complexion either dark skinned when you're tanned or you're not naturally your complexion when you aren't tanned. Often I see the latter with different celebrities, like people being um, accused of bleaching, like Stacey Dash, Rihanna, Nicki Minaj, Beyonce, Carrie Hilson, I believe, Ciara. The list goes on and on and on. And does anyone wonder why it's only these specific people? Why doesn't anyone ever say this about dark skinned people when they lose their tan? I mean, when you think about it, who's the one who's doing the bleaching most often? It isn't usually people who are lighter skinned. It's actually usually darker skinned people who are actually like made fun of for being dark skinned and stuff. That would be an actual really dark skinned person. So I never understand why people always accuse people like this. It's like they don't people don't like to acknowledge certain complexions, one, and then secondarily, people don't like embracement of it. You embrace it, then you're embracing someone else. When if I'm not embracing myself, then I'm not loving myself, obviously. So if I don't embrace my own complexion, how am I, embracing someone else? As far as I know, I'm the one with the complexion. So it's just weird to me. So if that's just what bothers me a bit. Like when I was growing up, it was often like a constant worry, like, oh, we don't care about anything about how you feel about your complexion other than please don't feel better than us. That's how I basically grew up much of my childhood, just where it was like, we got to prove to you and show you how you're not better than us, which as a child, I want to know, how does any child get born and really literally think that they're better than anyone just off of skin tone? You should know, like how I was when I was a baby, a newborn baby. I had a dark skinned mother. And when I was born, they said that when they gave me to my mother, I automatically knew she was my mother and was at ease. So quite obviously, I wasn't caring about any skin tone, nor did I even pay attention to a difference in skin tone. So I mean, like obviously, I'm saying obviously I didn't feel better then. And growing up, why would I feel any better? I wasn't even around anyone who was lighter skinned to teach me that. And this kind of ties into how, a lot of the time, colorism, it always seems like it comes from darker skinned people. And that's what I mean. They come with this mindset of lighter skin being more ideal. And it's annoying because it's like, Now, if the people who are lighter aren't even telling you that it's better, and there's no way that someone can grow up thinking that it's better just by, being a certain complexion. You know what I mean? You'd have to be taught that. Then, like, why do you feel an innate insecurity? Not really innate, I don't think. I think it's nurtured, but still, why do you feel this insecurity and this point of teaching someone that they aren't like better and you don't want them to even embrace their own complexion? Like, people have to love themselves despite, anything about someone's insecurity of feeling better about someone. Like, people should be able to love themselves without having to worry about if someone else is worried about them feeling better than themselves. I feel like the more specific problem is the person who's worried about it. Because obviously they don't feel better. And that's more the problem. Like, they need to focus on why you don't feel better and to, focus on not worrying about the proximity of what mixed race people look like or what black people look like or whatever. It's just annoying to me. Like, I never looked at my complexion and thought, oh, it looks more like mixed people's, or oh, it looks more like black people's, or whatever. Like, I just thought of it as my own skin tone, dang it. Honestly, when I was really young, I always thought mixed people who were darker were a little odd to me because, I mean, I don't know, it just seemed odd because I always saw myself as a black little girl. But yeah, that type of insecurity just kind of bothers me. And I know it's kind of coming out of left field that I'm bringing this up, but it actually pertains to something I was just talking about recently where somebody was just like, they brought up just the fact of, because I was talking about like how, dark skinned people should be taught how to be seen, like how they should see themselves as ideal, and their complexion is ideal, and how every black person should be taught that. And that it is a shame, that I didn't grow up that way myself as a black person and things of that nature. But I don't know. It's like if I ever talk about like the appreciation of my complexion, like I said, it's oh, someone's here. Hi, Blue Blue. How are you? But yeah, if I ever talk about like that, it's always associated with someone else. And I just don't appreciate that. I mean, like, even people who do appreciate, try to claim they appreciate like light skin, even, or like their light skin, the ones that are more problematic and cause this whole issue in the first place act like it's associated with other complexions, like white people's. And it's like problematic because it's like, one, like I said, mixed people and light skinned people aren't white people. So trying to associate, that um, with the proximity being a good thing isn't even speaking well of light skin. It's just saying that it's better than something else, which is technically putting down people who are lighter, like who are darker than white people, which is light skin, basically. And I just don't appreciate that because it's like there is nothing really good about it, then is it? in some people's minds. I'm not saying in my mind, but I just think, like, you know, people should be able to appreciate themselves for what they really are, not who they're similar to, because something else is, you know, the end all be all to some people. But yeah, that's about it. That's all I have to really say on this. I kind of feel like this is going to be a quicker video. So, thanks for watching and have a great day. Bye.